Hi guys! So today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 tricks for living with POTS. These are things that I've either picked up from my cardiologist or doctors, or things that I just have found that helped. So I hope some of these help you, and I'll get into the tips. So the first tip is that instead of drinking water, if you're finding the water isn't helping, is to switch it for a sports drink, for squash, or to have something to eat when you're drinking it. And the reason this helps is that food and sports drinks and squash all have electrolytes, and electrolytes help your body absorb water, and so it increases your blood volume, and then that is what makes you feel less dizzy and less faint. So if your doctor has told you to drink more water and you're finding it's not helping, then you could try switching it out. My second tip is for if you're out and you really have to stand, so for example if you're waiting in line, collecting your children from school, or for any other reason you're left stranded and you have to stand up, then some things that I do that help. One of them is I will pretend to tie my shoelace, so you can bend down, like properly bend down, and then you can pretend to tie your shoelace. So normally I will just undo it and then do it back up. Or if you're not wearing laces, then you can bend down and pretend you have a stone in your shoe. Now these all sound quite silly, but a lot of the time when we have POTS we don't want to draw attention to ourselves, so I found those to be some quite good tips. Some other things that you can do if there's not room to bend down is you can do calf raises, which is where you go up on your tiptoes and back down, but that is a bit more obvious. Other things you can do is clench your fists or clench the muscles in your bum. That's I mean, people don't know you're doing it, so you can do that. And lastly, you can just cross your legs, and all of those things will help bring your blood pressure up and your heart rate down, so that will help you. Tip number 3 is always have a drink and a salty snack on hand. So for a drink you would want probably one of these guys, and then salty snacks, so things like crackers, crisps, and of course it would be a good idea to have your meds on hand, just in case you don't know how long you're staying out for, or in case you need emergency meds. So drink, snack and meds, and you should be good to go. Tip number 4 is that there are aids available and it is okay to use them. A lot of us feel like we're not sick enough for that, or that they're not meant for us, but the thing is, if something is going to help you, then it is absolutely okay to use it. I've wrote a list of the aids that I found that are available to us, so please excuse me for looking down, I'm reading a list now. But a heart rate or a blood pressure monitor, that can be helpful to keep track of where you are. If you're out, sometimes it will give you a good indication of when you need to sit down. Another one is a wheelchair. I know it seems like quite a drastic measure, but if you're passing out, and if the passing out is stopping you from going out, then a wheelchair will enable you to do that. And then also a walker or a rollator with a seat, which is, they're normally associated with older people, but if having a walker with a seat is going to help you, then that is absolutely okay. You can also get a pillow wedge for your bed, and that elevates your head, and some people find that helpful. Another thing I found useful is these cards. They're called Stickman cards, but you can also find them for free online. I'll try and find a link to something like this. But it says on it, I have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and then it gives a brief explanation and explains that you need to sit down immediately or lie down, and I found that helpful, especially if you're quite independent and go out by yourself. This can give you peace of mind that you'll always have a way to tell people that you're going to pass out. You can tell them what's going to happen, or if you do pass out and you don't want people to call an ambulance, then you can just give this to whoever's with you and say, look, I'm okay, this is what's going on, I don't need an ambulance. And so I feel like this has been a bit of a safety blanket for me. The last aid I could think of is compression wear, so you can get compression leggings or compression tights, and even compression stockings and socks. And now, as a kind of sub-top tip, what I would say to you is that don't let how you look become more important than what you do, because I felt like that happened to me, especially in the beginning, because I didn't want to look different. But I'm telling you right now, if you're passing out and fainting and looking like you're drunk and wobbly, you're already looking like you're different. So if these things are going to help, please consider it. Following from that, tip number 5 is shower stool. If you get any of the aids, I would recommend getting the shower stool. This has helped me so much. No one has to see it, it just has to be in your bathroom. It doesn't have to be a big chair. Mine is just a circular seat with 4 legs, and then we have it in the bathroom. It's white, it doesn't really look medical, and it's helped me so much. Number 6 is persevere at your doctors. Do not give up. Change doctors as many times as you need to. Know that you're not a nuisance, you deserve to be helped, and they are there to help you. Now, this is a really important one. A lot of us are kind of put on one medication and left, and if that's what's happening, or if you can't even get the diagnosis, then change doctors. That's okay. It's okay to keep going back. Do not take no for an answer. If you're still feeling really unwell, please persevere. Things can and will get better. Number 7 is your morning routine. I feel like how you get up in the morning determines the rest of your day when you have POTS. So even if you're a really busy person, I still find this method works best. So what you're going to do is have a drink and a salty snack in bed, have them on your windowsill or a bedside dresser, and then also take your meds whilst in bed, and then stay in bed for half an hour. And if you're a busy person, you can still be productive. You can do some work in bed, you can do your cleansing and moisturising routine, or you can do your makeup in bed, or you can read, you can do homework. There are so many things that you can do while still being in bed, and in that time your blood pressure and your heart rate and the blood pooling can all get used to you being upright whilst you're sitting propped up on your pillows. And then after the half an hour or 20 minutes is up, then you can just swing your legs around, sit on the edge of the bed, which is actually where I am now. Just sit like this for about 15 seconds, 15 to 30 seconds, and then stand up, and that should start your day off really well. It could even prevent a lot of your POTS episodes throughout the day just by having that adjustment period. So I hope that morning routine helps you. Tip number 8 is if you're a fainter and you faint when you're out, but before you faint you find that you can't speak and you can't tell anyone, then with your friends and your family, I think you should devise a tapping system. So that's what I found helps for me. I tap my friend if I need them to get me to sit down, or I hold on to their hand if I'm passing out and there's nothing I can do about it. Number 9 is eating little and often. So some people eat 5 smaller meals a day, but also you could have your 3 main meals and then snack throughout the day. And the reason this helps is that in some people, when we eat food, the blood rushes to our stomach, and when it's in our stomach, it's not in our head, and that is what makes us pass out or feel dizzy. And so by eating little and often, it should stop that happening. And like I said, you don't need to rearrange your whole life so that you're having 5 meals a day. You can just snack more often, and then when you do have a meal, don't eat as much as you normally would, and that should help. Lastly, us POTSy people are really bad at regulating our own temperature, so ways that I've found of helping with this are by taking cooler showers and then also layering your clothes. So by wearing many layers, you have the ability to take clothes off and cool yourself down, or you can put them on top and warm yourself back up. So again, it's a really simple one, but it should really help. And they are all my tips. I hope it helped you. Like this video if you liked it, or share it with someone you think this will help. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!